Hello, Internet. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Get Geek podcast. This week, we're going to have another Geek Out episode. We're going to jump in and tell you all what we have been interested in the last couple of weeks or so. But first, let's do our introductions as we always do. I'm Jose.
This is AJ.
This is Wolfie.
This is Walter.
This is Eli. I have no idea why you would even think to choose Gucci or Versace.
Is that what we're talking about again this week?
Yeah.
Why don't you just make your own fashion podcast?
Huh?
Fashion, music. You know what? It's fine.
I haven't
Gucci,
caught up.
Fendi, Versace. Every week it changes. Anyways, let's get right into the geek outs. All right, I'll start, gentlemen. Cool. I've been super excited about the recent announcement. We put it on our Instagram feed. It's pretty common news by now. A new show that's coming out on HBO, or at least has been announced on HBO, based on one of my favorite video games of the last few years, which is The Last of Us. Okay. Now I know some of us haven't played it here, haven't finished it. Some of us have started it. But to me, like, The Last of Us was a blend of awesome gameplay, amazing graphics, like great character design, great animation, like an incredible story. Like, it's easily one of the best games of the last few years.
Can you actually remind me a little bit, give me a synopsis of the story? I always wanted to play the game. Mm-hmm. I remember I wanted to play the game, but it was around the time that I had no time for games.
Yeah, which happens a lot for us sometimes. Like, because I haven't played games in a couple of months now too, and I was definitely into like Battlefield and all that stuff again. But like, quick synopsis for The Last of Us. So basically, the story of the game is it starts off with they show you a father and a daughter, right? And it's a single father. That's not the crux of the story, but these are like some of the main characters, right? This is a single father. His name is Joel. He has a daughter, obviously, which I've said many times. And like the story starts like basically at the beginning of something like a zombie outbreak. It's kind of a zombie game again, but like it's really interesting and really well done because it's not a game where zombies bite you and you turn into a zombie. It's like a fungus that gets into the air and turns people into these like zombie-like creatures. Okay, so the premise of the game is that
you gotta avoid the coronavirus.
Yeah, you gotta avoid the coronavirus. You play as Joel and you avoid the coronavirus throughout the entire game, basically. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of a good way to put it. The way that things are going right now, but like with
the girl, right?
Yeah, with the girl, but
the girl has that quality.
Look, this is not that much of a spoiler at this point because it's the first 5 minutes of the game. Okay, so I'll give this part away, and then I won't spoil any more of the story. But I do kind of have to.
This was spoiled for me already.
This probably was.
And I was really upset when it was, but I don't remember what it is. So I'm preparing myself to be spoiled again because I remember that specifically. Oh, this happens in the first 5 minutes, so don't worry about it. And then I was really upset. But that's
what hooked me into the game. Like those first 5 minutes, I was just like it was emotional. It was amazing, like amazing acting, voice acting. Like that's something you mentioned earlier that you heard that the voice acting in this game was impressive. Yeah. And it really is a fantastic game in terms of voice acting.
I'm mentally preparing myself to be re-spoiled.
Oh, man. I kind of feel bad, but
do it.
In order to continue with my geek out.
Do it.
So, the first couple of minutes, like I said, you have Joel, his daughter, and the zombie outbreak, we'll just call it that. It's actually something called cordyceps, I think, in the game, which is like a type of fungus that exists in real life.
Cordyceps are a type of mushroom.
Mm-hmm, exactly. But that's what it is in the game. I take them for training, actually. Yeah, it doesn't turn you into a freaking zombie in real life. Thank goodness. Or then maybe, I don't know. Maybe in 5 years things will be different. We have no idea. Maybe it's slow acting zombie mushrooms. But the game begins, and through a series of events, Joel ends up losing his daughter. She ends up passing away. In the very beginning.
Oh my God, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I said earlier, I knew this was like the thing that would hit you in the feels because I know how much you feel about like the father-daughter or son relationships. Gosh. Okay, so the game like slaughters your heart in the first 5 minutes. Just like straight takes it, rips it up, crushes it. Mm-hmm. Oh. Like I remember, like I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit at when he's like crying over his daughter's body in the beginning of this game, right? And then.
Somehow that just reminded me of I Am Legend with Will Smith.
It's got hints of a lot of things like that. Yeah. There's even I don't know if you've seen like some of these fan casts where people literally have Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane from Logan. They want them to be the characters in Last of Us.
Oh wow!
And it would actually fit. Really would.
There's actually fan art
Yeah, there's fan art
online.
with
That's sick.
It
freaking
looks
Logan
perfect.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
as like Joel, and Ellie is the other young female character.
I'm
right?
gonna stop jumping into your geek out.
No, it's okay, dude. It's okay. Like, but like, so anyway, the way that this story goes, the incredible voice acting, like I said, just everything that about this game, the world building, everything about this game told me for years, like, yo, this would make an incredible movie. But I was kind of wrong in the way that I think about it, because there's so much going on in this game that it would make an incredible TV show.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so freaking excited to see what HBO is going to do with this, because you know HBO, they're not gonna put out some half-assed property like a lot of the other video game movies we've seen, right? Like, I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog seems to have kind of like finally broken the curse.
It's like the first successful movie. But again, this isn't a movie, this is a show, so.
Exactly, but even video game, I don't know about video game shows, I can't think of one, but other than cartoons, there hasn't really been anything successful.
Castlevania.
Right? But that's a cartoon, right? So
Still a show.
Still a show.
it's a show. It's true, but like it seems like the live action stuff gets like torn to shreds and gets messed up. You have like Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons and Super Mario cartoons from back in the day that were good, but we never got a good Super Mario Brothers movie. Like Dennis Hopper was freaking King Koopa. Come on, you know, like it was
I have
entertaining.
a special place in my heart for that movie.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining.
As terrible as it is, from what I understand, I do actually really love that movie. Because anyway, I don't want to go into it, but yeah, I do love that movie, and I would not mind doing a post-mortem on that movie.
Listen, nostalgia is a great thing for some of these movies, and look, like the people who are in the movie are awesome. Like Dennis Hopper. I can't remember who Mario was, but it's the same guy from Roger Rabbit, right?
It was he had also died.
Yeah, he died. He died recently in the last couple of years.
British guy.
Yes,
and then John Leguizamo as Luigi.
as Luigi, which was an interesting pairing. But but getting back to The Last of Us, that's like I'm really excited because a great company, a great producer of television shows is going to be the one to create this show. It's Bob Hoskins. That's the name of
that's right.
Super Mario. Hoskins. Bob Hoskins, right? So you have this great property that's finally going to be turned into something interesting, and I think it bears mentioning also that like we're going to get another TV show pretty soon from video game, the Halo TV show. Which is that Showtime? That's another big.
It is Showtime with Pablo Schreiber.
Yeah,
I cannot
as Master Chief.
And that's exciting too. I feel like we're gonna see a renaissance in like video game properties turned into like TV shows and movies and stuff like that. Because again, you have stuff like Silent Hill, which was okay, right? That was probably one of the better video game movies. It wasn't terrible.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It wasn't as good as the beginning of the movie.
I like the whole movie, but maybe it's also because at that time, like, video game movies was really, really low on the bar. The bar was really low, so when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the best video game movie ever.
But the very beginning of it was really, really...
It was very, very Silent Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Toward the end, it kind of got a little weird.
I feel the same way, because I feel like it got the... It didn't copy the game, but it like really got the spirit of the game at the beginning of the movie, and then it started to alter it a little bit.
Exactly.
But anyway, like I said,
some movies and comic books
that's like
that we've read and watched.
Hey,
and we'll get to that. But yeah, like really, I'm just excited because I remember all the wonderful details, all the wonderful story elements, and then you have The Last of Us 2 coming out really soon. So like you could get a couple of seasons out of this show if you combine the two video games now, and if you combine the DLC from the first game, which is it's the secondary character, Ellie, the girl. Mm-hmm. You play as her. So it's a flashback too. Okay. So there's a lot that they can do with the game, the DLC, and the second game that's coming out.
Does anyone at this table have a copy I can borrow?
Oh, The Last of Us?
Yeah,
I do. A PlayStation 3 copy.
I have it.
Actually, I think.
Can I play that on PS4?
I think so.
It's a PS4 game.
No, but it came out on PS3 first, remember?
Right, but
it got remastered onto PS4.
Right. Oh, it got remastered. Oh, there's a remastered version?
There is.
I have the digital version.
Oh,
maybe I'll just like spend the money and get the remastered.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
really good.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you haven't finished it, but you can tell.
Finished it.
Like, it's time, obviously. We all know it's exactly. We don't always have time. But like that game, I couldn't stop. I played it a few years ago. Like I wasn't really playing video games at all, and it was just a game that like I had to get through. Because you guys feel the same way. Sometimes you have no time, but you play this game, and it's just like, well, I can't stop. This is too good. For me, that was The Last of Us, and that's why I am just mega freaking excited to see who they're going to cast, who's going to direct, who's going to be the showrunner. Like, once these details start coming out and I get a little confidence in what they're trying to create here, like, my excitement is just going to build and build and build. And then in May, I believe, when The Last of Us 2 comes out, if, that's not delayed by the coronavirus like everything else on Earth, when that comes out, I'm going to have to grab a PS4, actually. But, like, I'm going to buy... let's put it this way. I'm going to buy a PS4 just to play The Last of Us 2. I didn't own a PlayStation 3. I borrowed Walt's PlayStation 3 just to play The Last of Us. I still have your PlayStation 3, actually.
Yes.
So, yeah, you can sense my excitement in my voice a little bit, I think. I'm just really, really excited to see this property finally come to life. It's one of my favorites, like, among things like BioShock and Half-Life. Those are some of my favorite stories in gaming. Oh, man. This is up there. And if this succeeds, maybe we'll start to see some of those other awesome stories that we love translated into video games as well, if this and Halo succeeds. So for me, it's a win-win. Last of Us 2 is coming out, and it might, like I said, start a renaissance for gaming stories in other media. That's what I'm geeking out about, guys.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's freaking super
Eli?
exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's right, okay.
I just want to start with something real quick. I know I was gonna say I was gonna do the. I know I was gonna say I was doing the Eternal Takeout album, but I figured since there are two, when that just came out, I'm gonna hold that off.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Sleep. I just saw it. Well, three of us. I don't know about you.
I haven't seen it yet.
Gabe?
I have not seen it,
Yeah.
but you can go ahead and spoil. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Just try to be somewhat light, but go ahead and talk about it.
The
to
only
your
thing,
heart's
don't
content.
spoil the ending.
Yeah.
I know.
That's always the most important.
It's gonna be spoiler free. This my
Alright.
review.
All right.
For now.
Tell us a little bit about what you enjoyed about Doctor Sleep.
well-
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Three of us, Walt and Andre, we saw Doctor Sleep, right? And
Yeah, AJ saw it with you, right?
yeah.
AJ and Walt. So
Yeah.
tell us about it. Mm-hmm.
But it was disappointing.
How? Wait.
Really? Well, hold on.
So how are you geeking out?
Don't, hold on. Everybody should already know that this is what we should expect from
Okay.
Eli.
wasn't-
Everything is disappointing.
That was
I'm joking.
unexpected.
You're supposed to tell us what you
joking.
enjoyed.
No, I
It
got a
was
taste of this after we saw the movie. I
was disappointing.
flat out don't agree.
It was disappointing for one reason and one
Okay.
reason only.
Okay.
But I'm gonna save that for later.
Wait.
No, you gotta say it now.
Hit it,
No,
hit it
no,
up
no.
now.
Yeah.
No, after.
Okay,
After
okay.
what?
Hey,
After
it's his geek out. Let him.
All
let him
right.
geek.
So I found the storyline to be dramatic, and I really loved how they put together the main antagonist of the story, making it seem like it wasn't really about what happened at the original hotel.
The Overlook, right? The
Mostly-
Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, it is a sequel.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sequel to The Shining, we should say, for those who don't know, this is a sequel to the movie The Shining. Or,
Yeah.
well, to the
Sequel
book,
or
I think.
prequel?
Sequel.
Sequel.
Sequel? I thought
It's
it was a
it's
prequel.
grown-up Danny Torrance
Yeah.
from the original. It's
the
the little
kid.
kid. He's grown
Okay.
up now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it
Continue, young man.
kind of surrounds the cultish theme, which is one reason I really like it. Gives it that dark tone. It was brutal, very brutal, and I gotta admit, some of the stuff it creeps me out. It straight up creeps me out.
So it did have like a little scare factor to it. Because The Shining was a pretty unsettling movie.
But
Yeah, it
that's
was
the
like
thing.
psychological,
yeah.
right?
Which I enjoy that more. Like,
It's-
what do you think?
It's considered a horror movie, but
Yeah.
it didn't give me that sense where I was scared to death
But
after the movie.
did you feel uneasy? Like, because
I
I feel
felt-
like that's what they go for in these movies a little bit.
It's the thing is the reason why it's disappointing for
Mm-hmm.
me at least is it was given the genre horror, but it wasn't necessarily scary. It was more thriller, action, that type
Okay,
of.
I'll give you
Like
that.
I can agree with that.
like a dramatic movie, dramatic thriller,
Like
or something
suspense.
that.
But
Yeah, suspense. That's what I was looking for.
if it wasn't given that genre horror, then I would rate it like 100% out of 80% out of 100%.
I was gonna say if it's that disappointing, there's no way it would be 100.
My second
with that little
reason-
change.
My second reason it's not really a big of a deal because now that I look back on it, it's, but
That was our microphone.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. We will get our engineers to fix this in a moment.
yeah.
My fault. Go ahead.
All right, all done.
But, anyway,
So you were saying that like the genre kind of disappointed you, right?
Yeah.
But what was
There was a
why
second,
the
there was
80?
a second reason, right?
well, 90 actually. The second reason is it didn't really have anything to do with what originally happened until the end.
Okay.
Right? And I wanted to see more. It wasn't what I was expecting. I wanted to see more of that hotel, psychopath, ghost story, more than as much as I liked the cult theme, which I would have loved to have more than the hotel. But the rest of it it doesn't piece together really well for me at least with
Okay.
the original movie.
I think I see what you're saying. So the way that you see it is that they changed the story in a sense of how things were set up in the original movie in this one, and you're not a fan of that. Is that kind of what I'm getting from what you're saying?
Well,
here?
I will say this: the original movie isn't exactly very faithful to the novel.
That's true. Also,
And Stephen King, he's made a point over the years how disappointed he was with the Stanley Kubrick version.
he even made
You know
that
what I'm saying?
TV series with Steven Weber from Wings.
Exactly, I remember that. So maybe the disconnect between the two films is that this film is pretty faithful to the book that came afterwards, but then that book is now referencing things that happened in the book version of The Shining, as opposed to the movie.
Not
I'm
Kubrick's
assuming
version.
that's where the disconnect could be.
Ooh, I kind of want to jump into the universe now. I want to actually read the original book, watch The Shining, then watch Doctor Sleep.
The original book is pretty long though, because all of Stephen King's books are super long.
I know they are.
500
It's always turned me
pages,
off.
1,000 pages.
As a kid, it's what I imagined like all novels were. Like, this is what reading a real book is like?
Yeah.
I'm not going to read this.
And then you find books that are like 150, 200, 300
I know,
pages.
right?
It's like, okay, this is digestible.
This is manageable.
Interesting. Okay. What else did you think about it? Like, is there any other thoughts that you'd like to give us about what you thought about Dr. Sleep? Like, what would you really like about it? Like, I'm curious to hear that.
The storyline.
The storyline.
Yeah,
But you
going
kind of
back to
said
that.
you kind of said you didn't like the storyline in a way.
Well,
What about the
If-
storyline without spoiling it too much? Did you like?
if I'm gonna, this is gonna be a bit confusing for any of the listeners, but the way that I see it, the movie is split into two parts. The first part is mainly about the cultish stuff, and the second part is mainly about the hotel part.
Okay.
Yeah. The first part I really liked, even though it had nothing to do with it had stuff to do with the original movie, but it wasn't really that well pieced together with the original. The second one
Okay.
did go together, but the first one kind of brought it down with what originally happened. So
There was, I think what you're trying to get at is there were different focuses in the movie.
Yeah.
yes.
Like the first act, like midway through the second act, maybe they're focusing on this what you think is a new storyline, and then they connect it in the end. Is what it sounds like to me. But again, like I haven't seen the movie, so I don't necessarily need you to confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's a very different dynamic from the original movie. This one is more of a what's a good movie to compare it to? It's like you're It's almost as if you're stealing powers, right? That's what
I have
that
it.
main character is doing.
The Sixth Sense.
Well,
in a sense.
Yeah, in a
right?
sense.
It's a very weird. You have to watch the movie to understand it because it's and without me wanting to spoil it, it's just it's two different movies, right?
It's
Okay.
kind of like The Sixth Sense, if you think about it.
All right, say no more.
Yeah.
If we're going
weird,
into
it's
like
weird. It's
It's
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
It's
I
weird.
think that's venturing.
It's a
into
very good movie,
spoilery territory.
is.
but it's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is
Like,
Stephen King.
and
yeah.
I
Wait,
love weed.
I gotta ask. Is Stephen King's streak of not being able to write the greatest ending still continued in this?
Yeah, definitely for me. 100%.
No, I don't agree. And personally,
Well,
I don't agree.
You know what? I give that 50.
Like it's
okay.
You're not a huge fan of it.
All right.
Okay.
Respectable.
Okay. So it's not his usual like convoluted, doesn't make much sense endings, but it's not a great one either. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on that before we move on? Mm-hmm. All right then. Who would like to continue? What's up? Oh, I'm sorry. You have another thing you want to geek out about? Please continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Could I save this one for after?
For after what?
No, this is your geek out. You
Okay,
gotta
okay,
geek out all the way.
Geek it out.
My second geek out is
Do it.
Silent Hill 2.
So wait, did you just recently play this game
Yes.
for the first time ever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I downloaded it for him so he can play.
That's
'cause
awesome.
Sick.
That is awesome. Kudos to you.
Yeah, that to me that feels like when he first not
feel-
exactly,
I'm
but when
like
he
a-
saw Star Wars as a kid, it's like, oh, you get to enjoy the stuff
Yeah,
that
I
we
know,
enjoy.
right? Like it's like I'm a proud older guy.
Awesome. Tell us about it because we love it.
I hope
We've
you
said
loved
it.
it. He's
Yeah.
about to tell us that he's disappointed.
Yeah,
I didn't finish it.
Oh, you didn't finish
That's
it, but
okay.
you're playing. Oh, that's cool.
He's
That's
started.
cool. Still geeking out about it. That's cool.
So what do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna start off with the horror.
Mm-hmm.
The horror factor definitely played well, especially with the sound effects, which
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
wait,
told you.
so it's probably even better because you got like all the surround sound speakers now in
Yes,
comparison
sir.
to when we played it. That probably
Right.
makes it.
The only difference, he played it in the middle of the day.
Yeah, we
I
used to play it in the
challenge
middle
you
of
to
the
play
night.
it at night.
Oh yeah. Oh.
sure,
God.
hell yeah, I'd do that. I'd
Please
do that.
Put the bass right next to the couch.
Exactly.
Put the bass right next to the
Yeah,
couch.
and we're gonna live stream it, set up a camera so we can watch his
Ooh, can
reactions.
we? Oh my gosh!
I would love to
please
do
do
that.
a reaction
Yeah.
cam.
I would love to
reaction
do that.
cam.
But
oh my god,
Eli reacts to.
yeah, like it'll be a scare cam. It'll be awesome. I would love it.
It is disturbing. It's disturbing as it is. Doing
it's-
it at night, in the dark,
Yeah,
That's
with,
the way to
with the
go.
weird stuff happening around
that's
you.
the way to go.
I swear to God, it was already creepy as it
Didn't
is.
something happen when you were
Yeah.
playing it?
I swear to God, it was mad weird. I swear to
telling
God.
the Silent Hill curse
Yeah.
continues.
No, like
What
literally.
was the weird thing that happened?
Yeah.
Dad's phone, Walt's phone.
AKA Dad.
Yeah,
Daddy Walt.
It started ringing and then it got cut off and started repeating over and over again.
It was a really, you know how like my ring is the Marvel Studios entrance.
Yeah.
The theme song, right?
Your phone was glitching that out.
You did. It started, stop, started, stop, started, stop.
Was
But
there
nobody
even a
was
phone call?
I don't think anybody called, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. We were sitting
Oh
on the
God,
couch,
that's
and
hilarious.
my phone was on the table, and we both looked back to see what was going on.
And then you looked at it,
I'm never playing- I'm never
Yeah, it
playing
was
any
basically
horror
that.
games in this house ever.
I swear
Not
to
near
God, it
us
was
because the
mad
last time
creepy.
it happened
last
at
time
a
it
totally
was in
different
Astoria.
house. Yeah.
The last time when I was living in Astoria, that's when that happened.
Yeah. It happened.
It just
at
follows
mom's.
us.
It
You
happened
know,
at that- at
Not
that-
playing any
at
video
that
games
apartment.
around you guys then.
In that living room, where that VCR used to be,
Yeah.
all the weirdness happened in that apartment. So, like,
very
if
true.
you're around me or Walt while you play this game, something strange is going to happen.
exactly.
Now, look, tell us more about it. We're
I'm
hijacking.
cursed by, I'm cursed by you.
Yes.
You need to stay away from me when I play that game.
It's the combination of Walt.
It's kind of hard when I live here.
Yeah, it's the combination of Walt
Just
and
saying.
Silent Hill 2
You know?
that creates these odd situations. But tell us some more.
Okay, so it wasn't really scary.
Okay.
It wasn't scary at all, but the creepy factor is what made it a horror game.
Yeah, it's very unsettling.
Like
I think it's very unsettling.
like I felt disappointing at yes.
I knew
yes.
it. I knew it was
felt
coming.
I felt disappointed at some times because there were these times, and again, I haven't played this to the fullest, where I would feel like I was about to get jump scared, nothing would happen, and I'm just walking through, and the camera controls are so weird.
That's the point, though.
Yeah.
That's the
can't-
point.
you can't
It's a
control the
psychological
camera.
thing.
Yeah.
Like you're getting ready to get jump scared, and then nothing happens. But then you're worried that it's still going to happen.
And then you hear the ruffling of the bushes while you're
But that's
walking
the-
by.
that's the
And
point.
then I just immediately stop. I wait 5 minutes just to check if something
Exactly.
happens. I start walking, and then it happens again.
That's the
And
point.
I swear to God, I
Exactly.
think I'm about to get jump scared or something.
Well, that's
And that
the
is
point.
the point.
And then you give me the controller.
No,
You keep playing now.
no, but then
How many
worse
times
than
did that
jump
happen?
okay,
How many times did that happen?
okay, hold up. To back
How
this
can you
up.
be disappointed with that? That's
First of all-
pure.
first of all-
that's
He was like,
real,
here, take the controller. You do it.
That's
First of all-
real fear.
First of all, I backed this up because he didn't know how to play the game when he played, so I had to take it over from him.
Right, because the controls are wonky. It's like you have to press.
it's built that
up
way, though.
to
It's
move.
still like a
He didn't know how to
20-year-old game.
attack.
No,
you
that's
have-
that's how
you
they designed
turn-
it. If you read about how the game was designed, they meant to make your character really underpowered and wonky and slow. That's so that
But-
it would
but
make
the
it
control-
scarier.
But the controls are weird because the way you walk forward is you
Yeah,
push
it's-
up, but then to swivel
well-
you have to press left.
Well, it's,
and
it's,
right.
it's Resident
So-
Evil. It's the same as Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
exactly. But
It's just we're not used to that anymore.
right. Exactly. We're not used to it because nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
you know what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
There were
even the new
times-
Resident Evils now are like third-person shooters.
There were times where he would get stuck in a corner and he couldn't even look at what was attacking him. He would literally be looking directly at a corner, just standing there.
That was done on purpose.
Yeah, I know.
I was kind of faking them out, thinking that they were fine.
You know
And
what
then
it
I
is?
turn around and kill them.
It's like in Super Mario
Actually, I killed
Brothers
them
when you're
for
getting
you.
chased by the ghost. You gotta you turn around and it's coming after you, then you turn back and it stops and freezes. He was trying to
Yeah,
do
Yeah.
that in
I
a different
think-
way.
That's like the angels from Doctor Who, right?
I'm sorry, what?
The angels from Doctor Who, remember?
Oh, you mean the
What?
Weeping Angels?
The weeping angels.
But yo, I swear to
You close
God.
your eyes and they move, and you open them and they're right there. And you close, and it just they don't move when you see them. Mm-hmm. It's when you look away or you close your eyes. That's when they move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yo, but the thing is, with the thing that he was taking over the controller, the only reason he took over the controller for like the time where we were moving around for like when we were looking through the buildings, he basically played like
Looks like you're dabbing. You look like a dab cough.
yeah. He basically like played only 2 times, and that was when we were searching for stuff. The rest of the
2 times.
the third time was when I had to go to the bathroom, but I was in the apartment.
So 3 times.
Yeah, but
And forget the 4th, 5th, and 6th time.
no, there was
We
no
won't talk
fourth.
about
There
that.
was no fourth, fifth, or
All right,
sixth.
just tell us about the game. Just tell us about the game. We're not gonna argue. But he already beat the game like 15 years ago. It doesn't
exactly.
matter. Like 20 years ago at this point. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
something like that.
Doesn't matter what he's doing with the game now. Tell us about your experience.
But it really did check in with that 200% creepy factor, especially that points where it's like you don't want to turn around the corner, even though you hear its footsteps so easy, but you realize it's so easy to kill off, but you just don't want to even try.
So your encounters with Pyramid Head didn't like freak you out at all?
He didn't get there.
I didn't get there.
He hasn't got there. He's still stuck in the initial town.
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah,
yeah.
he hasn't gotten to the where are we supposed to go? The beach?
Oh,
very beginning?
house.
This
Yeah.
is like a 20-hour game that will take like 100 hours because of
Oh, yeah,
the
definitely.
creep factor.
Definitely.
If you're gonna slow
No,
it
but
down
like
that much.
during the apartment, that's when I started to speed up. Like from there, I was necessarily less creeped out, and I was starting to get more into like the actual game,
I have a
the
question.
gameplay.
I have another question though. This is somewhat unrelated. It's
like
not
my
unrelated.
Dead
But like, is
Space
this the remastered version of Silent Hill 2, or is this
Yes.
the original?
No, this is the remastered.
Because I heard the remaster like screwed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the original version.
He hasn't
especially-
gotten far enough for us to know yet. 'Cause
Okay.
he's still basically right after the guy leaves and walks through that first town. He's still in that first town.
So wait, because what I heard that turned me off was that they removed a lot of the fog.
No, the fog is still there.
Yeah,
The fog
definitely.
is still
So
there.
then those were all, or maybe it was another one of the Silent Hill remasters.
Well, it could have been
Anyway.
that. It could have been that they updated and added it after the fact and stuff.
I hope
like
so
that,
because
you know what I'm saying?
I saw a video about this a couple of months ago, and I heard that the remaster was really bad because the fog was added to the game originally because of graphics limitations.
Right, exactly.
They couldn't draw. The draw distance couldn't be that far. Mm-hmm. So they added the fog. It ended up being one of the best parts of the game. But then when they remastered one of them, they took it out because now the draw distance is there.
It's heavily
Fog.
fogged.
Okay.
You
Yes.
can't see more than a couple of feet.
Do not ruin my Silent Hill 2 fog. I'm sorry I keep interrupting you. Tell us more. I will shut up now.
There was only one point where I got like really scared in the apartment because in the apartments I was, like I said, I was speeding up. I wasn't really caring about things that were walking by. There was one point where I stood and I just got creeped out by this thing that was coming towards me because you know how whenever there's a creature coming towards you, the radio starts to freak out and start buzzing
Yeah.
out, and it's creepy as heck. It's
One of my favorite details.
It's like, and then you just hear the footsteps coming closer. I just stood there and I was like scared. I didn't know what to do. And then when it came by, I just saw it and then I beat it. And then I was like, it's not that scary. But the part that I got scared was the first time you pick up the flashlight.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that. Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil this because I want Andre to play this. Which you will. You will.
You
Yes,
must.
AJ certainly will.
You will.
You must.
will. But just know, you should be expecting something bad there.
All right. I'll tell you one thing. The game's going to get worse. It's not nearly as weird as
I know.
creepy as it's going to be.
Definitely.
It's going to get worse.
Okay. And last thing, soundtrack is fire. Fire.
The music in that game was pretty awesome. I agree. All right.
So,
Ikemas. Who would like to?
All right, I'll take that. So, despite not thinking I've had enough time as I normally often do, I decided to take a little break, given all this stuff that I've been doing. I finally got around to finishing Young Justice Outsiders, which is basically season 3 of Young Justice. And I gotta say, you know, when I left it off, because I started watching this prior to finishing it this year, I gotta say, it was going in a direction that I'd already been all too familiar with. So you know the Teen Titans storyline where what's her name, Terra, gets inaugurated into the Titans, and it's oh God, what's the name of that very famous storyline?
I don't remember the name of the storyline, but like,
jeez.
I remember what you were talking about.
But basically,
I think
she's a mole for Deathstroke.
Yeah, I saw the animated treatment of this. I didn't read any of the comics, but I did see the animated movie where
Yeah.
they did that.
So, you think they're going... Oh, yeah. I know that I'm a little late to the party, but just in case you haven't seen it and you've fallen off like I have, I will give a courtesy spoiler warning. It did something different, which I actually kind of liked, and I was kind of taken aback by. Because normally when they're adapting this storyline, she always goes bad.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's another thing. They treated her origin story very differently. In this one, she has a brother named, oh boy, what's his name? Brion. She comes from a dynastic family in jeez, what is with me and the names today?
not enough coffee.
Yeah, that's probably it.
All right, so while I look up the name,
You've had a
she
long
has a
day.
brother, Brion Markov, and her name is not Terra, but Tara Markov. See what they did there? And what this whole season is about metahuman trafficking. So last season we saw that Vandal Savages
Vandal Savages.
Oh God.
Savages.
You and names today are having a tough relationship.
Oh God.
Vandal Savages.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Vandal Savage.
Okay.
He's so hot right now.
Yeah.
So at the
Vandal Savage
actually,
is so
that's a
hot right
very
now.
accurate. That's a very accurate statement to make.
Really?
But anyway,
Okay.
so
Interesting.
at the end of season 2, saw Vandal Savage teaming up with Darkseid.
Yeah.
So things are going to be very fun this season.
Interesting.
And it was kind of hinted at in the past season that they were setting this up because the news reporter, because they have like I guess a Fox News type coverage in that universe.
Yep.
And it's led by none other than G. Gordon Godfrey, a.k.a. A New God, who is famous for spinning propaganda. So this season, they're working with Darkseid. Mm-hmm. The Justice League is scattered throughout the universe, fighting all the parademons, so they are not actually on Earth. It is up to the remnants of the Young Justice team and whatever's left of the Justice League. But here's the other kicker. At the end of it might have been in the beginning of this season or last season. Mm-hmm. They actually splintered off. The Batman took a following of the Justice League and went off and said, "Screw you! I have my own way of doing things, man." Mm-hmm. And they basically had like a difference of opinion of sorts because all the villains they're not collectively called the Legion of Doom. They're called the Light. And so they're a very backwoodsy, very political. They're not openly like, this is my evil plan. No, they're very meticulous with their planning. And they make it, Lex Luthor is part of the UN. And he's basically like causing all hell for the Justice League. Hey, you can't go there. You're not sanctioned there. That kind of thing.
That's why Lex Luthor is awesome.
And so, back to what I was saying.
Okay.
Now they're tampering with the metahuman gene. And what they end up opting to do is triggering people's metahuman gene. Kind of like, there was
Humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And they do this to the head of the Markovian family of Markovia. That's the country I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Where basically Tara's powers are activated, and so are her brothers. And, it's surprising I didn't catch this at first. Because it was kind of obvious now that I'm looking back at it. Mm-hmm. When we first see Brionne's powers manifest, they're Earth-related. Except he's more like a molten magma kind of guy. We don't see cool. Terra until later in the season.
Okay.
Where we find a metahuman, for lack of a better word, fight club being run by supervillains.
This sounds awesome. Like, why am I not watching this, actually?
Young Justice is good.
Yeah,
I've seen a few episodes, but I've definitely not gotten this far where it gets this interesting.
Yeah. And so, just that. Should I don't even think I want to go into the ending now if you're going to watch this.
I will watch this. But my first question actually to you is, what's the first rule of Metahuman Fight Club?
We psychically don't talk about Metahuman Fight Club because it doesn't exist.
Very well done. No, this does sound really interesting actually, because the story, the way that they changed the origin and all of that, I kind of like how they're doing the political machinations in this storyline. It sounds like they're doing. Yeah. I really enjoy when comic books get involved with that kind of stuff. We talked about that in the House of X Powers of 10 episodes that we did. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So it sounds interesting.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah. So there are new characters for the docket. Mm-hmm. I already mentioned Brionne Markov. Mm-hmm. Terra, technically new, but technically not new. We all know the story about that. Halo, who is basically a dying mother box's soul that got fused with a human body after the host died.
Dying mother box's soul that got fused with a human.
Because mother boxes are not only machines; they're actually living beings. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it was part of this whole apocalypse arc, the bad guys are using mother boxes. And one of these mother boxes, I don't remember the exact sequence of events, but basically when the mother box got canned, the soul drifted into this girl who actually let because there was a little uprising staged in Markovia.
Okay.
Where the uncle, Baron Bedlam, who is actually originally a Fourth World character, but not in this. But it's actually pretty nice the way they did this. He's the uncle of Brion and Tara, and he basically stages this uprising. You know, okay, well, kill the parents. Now I'm gonna rule. Yeah.
Very beautifully stated. Kill the parents, now I'm gonna rule. All right? Let's do this. Thanks.
And
job,
so
everyone.
the person who let his dissidents in was the host of Halo, who was killed off for, we can't really let you live.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the mother box's soul, once they were kind of digging like a mass grave kind of thing, and the soul of this mother box got attached to her, and so basically, she has all the powers of a mother box, but it's represented through different kinds of light. Red light is shield. Purple light is, oh my god, that is the other thing about this character. She is the Kenny of this show, bro.
She just dies over and over again?
Because one of her powers is not only can she heal herself, she can actually bring herself back from the dead.
Okay. Interesting.
So every other
They had that
episode
narrative
is
power.
her dying in a new way. Like,
So it's like Groundhog Day, or like, what the hell is that?
Happy Death
Moira.
Day.
Yeah, Happy Death Day.
Precisely.
Or Moira now.
Moira.
In the House of X Powers of 10. Or in just
God,
the X-Men universe.
She's gotten impaled by Lobo. She's gotten...
It was great.
Oh, yeah. he was pretty cool in the episode he was in. Well, she got her throat slit by... what's that? There's a character, very famous, Lady Shiva. I think it was Lady Shiva. She dies like, oh my god, this is just like she's literally Kenny.
Like half a dozen death scenes.
Yeah,
Man, this is all reminding me. It's like seems like it's taking some detail from a lot of different stories that I've heard or seen or read before.
Oh yeah,
And turning them into something that makes sense, which is why I'm kind of intrigued by this. Because like I feel like I've seen somewhat recently a movie where somebody died over and over again, probably besides Deadpool. I don't even know, like where it was, but it was played for laughs.
Oh, there's a Netflix show that I started watching called Russian Doll.
That wasn't it though, but it doesn't matter. That's not the important part.
Okay.
But like I said, it kind of like
yeah.
it's an amalgamation of a lot of interesting concepts put into this season's storyline.
So what did I say? Red light was shield, purple light was heal, orange light was I think offensive attacks. Blue light. Oh, what was blue light? But you get the point. There's a power for every light. Every
All the
color
colors of the
spectrum.
rainbow.
Yeah. It's a lot like Green Lantern, except fourth worldized.
Yeah, exactly. Green Lantern only has the one
Yeah.
color, basically, and like weaknesses to other colors.
In the
He's
vein,
yellow.
yeah. In the vein of apocalyptic, fourth worldian type tech, we also get introduced to Cyborg this season. You also get Fred Bug, who is of the fourth world. So there is, because the whole story of the fourth world is that there are two planets in opposition since God knows how long. It's Apocalypse and New Genesis.
Yeah.
On New Genesis, things are good, but we kind of also get the feel that not everything's good, because you have all the gods living up in the clouds, but then you have all the common people and the mortals, and a new race, at least a new race I believe, that I was just introduced to, called the Bugs. And this Fred Bug guy is one of those guys.
Well, what kind of character is like? What's his character's deal? I guess like
He talks very. He has a very unique way of speaking. Like it's very high-y. I want to say like Yoda, but not.
like a Borg or something.
No, he's not a Borg. He's like a.
When
He
you
speaks
say
a
hive,
lot.
do you mean like a hive mind or like
Like he's a bug. He refers to things in a very Bugsy sense. Like instead of saying family, he's like Fred Bug really likes his new hive. You know, things like that.
okay.
So he speaks about himself in the third person.
He speaks
Yeah.
bug jargon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That too.
If we know what bug jargon is,
That sounds like bug jargon to me.
And if
it
you know
sounds like-
Pokemon,
I'll go with that.
and if you know your Pokemon moves, he can use rollout.
I don't know that move.
It's basically where he curls up into a ball. But you know,
Oh, okay,
Bruh.
makes sense.
I'm
It's
sure so.
like an armadillo bug.
other characters. There's more, but you know what? The point is, if you get the chance, watch season 3 of Young Justice.
I have
It's
to-
really good.
I have to do a lot of catching up, but then again, I have a lot of catching up on a lot of the animated shows. Admittedly, when it comes to DC, Star Wars, I haven't gotten to a lot of that stuff. But I mean, again, you know, since we're all gonna die and we're gonna be indoors for a few weeks, now's a good time to catch up on stuff.
Yes.
I kid. We're not all gonna die, obviously,
No,
but you know, definitely there should be more time than there has been to be indoors and watch some of these shows. Let's put it that way.
yes.
Yes.
And we'll address that maybe in the future. We'll see.
Yeah.
In the vein of Pokemon,
Episode.
I also got around
What?
to seeing the remake of Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back, the first ever Pokemon movie.
Oh, how was that?
On
Yeah,
Netflix.
true.
I was curious about that.
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
saw the movie when it came out, like in the theaters.
They changed it. They made it all CGI.
That I saw. But
Yeah.
that's why I was
wanna see
intrigued.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
so it's not that substantially changed. What changes really is they flesh out Mewtwo a little more. Like in the beginning, see, this is why I wanted to rewatch the original, but I didn't get the chance to. But I'm pretty sure in the original, it's just a sequence of events showing, Mewtwo came into being, and he's super powerful.
It's like a quick montage that tells
Yeah.
you his origin in the original.
This kind of draws that out a little bit by
interesting.
also exploring his psyche a little bit.
That's interesting because you don't even really get to hear him say much until the end of the original, if I remember correctly, either.
Like midway.
Yeah, but like more so at the end. But yes,
Yeah.
he definitely says something, but like you don't get to see a lot of his, like you said, backstory and motivations. Well, you get to see it a little bit earlier on, but at the end, you don't get to see a lot of it until the end when he has his conflict with Mew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I mean, that was all right in my opinion. It was really just a lot of questions, and I mean, I get it; they're valid questions. You don't have a mother and a father per se, and you're like, you know, why am I here? Why was I created? Things like that.
Why do I exist?
Yeah, that's basically that's what his whole, I guess, being hinges on. And it's, I mean, it was okay, but you know, it's quite honestly something we've seen before, and I kind of expected it, but it was all right. It was all right.
Sounds like it's worth checking out.
Let me ask the question because I'm not that much into the Pokemon universe. It seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
it seems like after Detective Pikachu, there seems to be like a bigger emphasis on pushing Mewtwo as a more sympathetic character than previous, or am I totally off base on that?
I feel like he was.
That's not.
I feel like he
that's
was
not
kinda sympathetic.
wrong. He wasn't.
in the original though, because he was a creation to a great extent. You know
But
what
the
I mean?
thing is, I found, at least from, I'm going to rewatch the movie, but from what I remember, Mewtwo is even more callous in the original.
He was, but like, he was still somewhat relatable because of what his upbringing was. Not for lack of a better term, but that's how I kind of like to see it. Like, from what I remember, because that movie was a long time ago that I saw it in the theaters. So like maybe I'm misremembering, but like they definitely gave you a little bit of sympathy in those originals, even though it was touched upon for less time. They still took some time to be like, hey, like he's not just a villain, like because Mewtwo's not just a villain, right? He's an animal that has his own desires and instincts, but like they definitely pushed that whole like he was made this way to an extent. So like he didn't choose this, and that was the sympathetic part about him even before recently. And like I said, I haven't seen this new movie, so I don't know what the differences are, but that's what I remember from his story.
Yeah. But I really want to get to the animation now. The animation, I thought it really worked for Detective Pikachu. I wasn't a fan of it for this.
Oh, really?
No. And if I'm being if I'm going to be quite stark here, I prefer the original animation.
Sometimes that's better because I kind of miss traditional.
Because,
animation.
I miss traditional hand drawn animation a lot.
Like, I mean, the 3D looks nice and all, and sure, Shadow Ball looks a little updated, but just the way there was a lot. I feel there was a lot better contrast between Mew. I mean, there's certainly contrast in this new iteration. It's not just called Strikes Back, by the way. It's called Strikes Back Evolution. Yeah. I really liked how simple it was. Like, if I remember correctly, there are two moves that you see predominantly from both Mew and Mewtwo. Mewtwo sporting Shadow Ball, and Mew, if I remember correctly, sporting Aura Sphere. And it was a very simple difference. Aura Sphere was predominantly blue, but it had like little purple, like sparks. Mewtwo's was the complete opposite of that. It was a deep purple with blue sparks.
Okay.
And the new one, it certainly kept that dynamic, but I don't know. It was like I really like the older. I'm really trending toward the older animation.
I feel like that's been going around a lot, especially
Like,
with Lion King and like all the new movies of like the remakes of like Disney movies and all that.
The thing is, again, I said this when we were talking about Lion King sometime before, that like it may be because we are attaching the nostalgia of when we first saw the film, right? To what we actually saw, right? Like the emotions that we had when we saw Mewtwo the very first time, we attach it to what we saw, the animation and stuff. So when you see it this time around, you're not as emotionally involved because you already know what's going to happen. You already saw everything. So maybe that there might be some point to that. Because I would like to see is like a focus group of one group of people that saw the original and then saw the new movie, and then one group of people that didn't see the original at all and then saw this movie.
That would be interesting.
Right?
That would be for something like Lion King.
To see
if
it's really that the animation is more preferred previously, like the older animation is more preferred than the newer animation, or if it's more of a nostalgic factor that we have.
I mean, I don't want to completely throw the artists under the bus. Like, the ending clash between Mew and Mewtwo was beautiful. It really was. Like, they start at the end. They start building this like huge Dragon Ball Z-esque aura, and they just start going, mentally, boom, boom.
They just start attacking each other with mental bullets,
with
mind bullets.
It's so good. Yes. But anyway,
that was an awesome scene. I'm gonna give them that. And this is, like I said, it's good, but like, okay. Like, to be fair, again, I know I'm saying I don't want to, I'm very back and forth on this, I'm sorry, but it's like, I feel like we didn't really need this, But with the advent of Pokemon becoming popular again, I can see why you might want to re-gauge the interest with the movie that touched most people.
Again,
Money.
it's like a retelling for the newer, younger generation.
Yeah,
right? Like it's just, for them, it's brand new. Just like the CGI Lion King is brand new for that generation. That's all it is.
Aladdin and all this stuff is being remade. Transformers, in a way, like all of this stuff is partially based on this.
Everything is generational, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, the voice acting was... Well, it was Ash and the group. Nothing really much to say about that. They were awesome. Cool. Team Rocket was rambunctious as always, and just despite all my criticism, I did enjoy the movie. So if you want, give it a shot.
It's still a good movie.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Pokemon, or not.
Pokemon.
Hey, Pokemon for life.
Pokemon.
Ride or die.
Catch them all.
You guys will get to it.
Leaf green.
I was actually gonna pick it up this weekend.
You want to do it? Leaf green.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You still haven't even beaten the champion.
No, I haven't. I haven't been playing that game in.
You haven't even. Oh god.
No, get that. No, I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm leaving.
All right,
Moving along.
Yes, so that'll be ending my geek out. Thank you for indulging me.
I'll take the next geek out. Mine will be a little bit shorter because there's literally no negative criticisms to the geek out. What are you doing? What is he doing?
Nope, I'm leaving.
All right, you can stop
In case
torturing
you're
him now.
wondering, Rise of
torturing him.
Skywalker
now
may
it's
or may
interfering.
not
Explain
have
yourself.
started playing.
Explain yourself.
It was a button push that it happened.
That went wrong.
Exactly.
All right.
It just went awry.
These guys are trying to intrude on my geek out by playing The Rise of Skywalker on the television. Apparently, it's available now?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, you can watch it right now?
Yeah, I'll put it on.
Don't
right
dare
now.
put it on.
Hold on. Give me a second. I'll put
I thought it
on.
was
All
a
right.
pre-order. Don't
Geek
put it
outs,
on.
man. Geek outs.
Check it out.
What are you doing?
No, turn the
putting it on.
volume down. We're gonna.
Leave.
It is so on.
It's
Oh
gonna.
my God.
It's gonna
I have yet
encroach.
to see this in a not
Anyway.
crappy quality.
There you go.
This is
The movie theater is crappy quality. The movie is crappy quality. Period.
Okay, obviously, but I feel like
Hey, I kind of like the movie, so whatever. Let's get off this Rise of Skywalker topic before we get into a place that we can't escape from.
Go ahead.
all right.
Go
So
ahead.
my geek out is a generational geek out because it's I'm geeking out over the Final Fantasy VII remake demo that just recently came out.
Yeah, I played that.
It's a demo. It's a game that I have literally been waiting for since the advent of real 3D video games. When I played Final Fantasy VII, I absolutely loved it. I bought the T-shirt at GameStop. I got like the bags and everything, pins, caps, book bag, the whole nine, because I love the game so much. I love the setting. I love everything about that game. And then when Final Fantasy X came out, which was a full 3D world and everything, the first one I played that had like a real 3D RPG experience, I was like, I kind of need Final Fantasy VII to be remade now because I need FF7 to be like this.
10 was amazing. It really was.
And I've been waiting for Final Fantasy VII to be done like that since
10?
then.
I don't think so.
So when the PS3 came out, I bought a PS3 because it was announced that Final Fantasy VII was going to come out for the PS3.
Yeah.
And then I waited, and then it never came out.
Yeah, because they're
And
evil.
then they pushed it to PS4, and they said that it would potentially be a launch title. Alas, it was not a launch title. And then they said it would come out in the following year after the launch. I'm like, okay, I bought a PS4 anyway. Me not being... Like, I love the PlayStation, and I love the PlayStation 2, but I did not love the PlayStation 3. I think I had, like, maybe one Spider-Man game. That's it. I was an Xbox guy, especially because of Halo. And when the PS4 came out, I was all the way Xbox, but I bought a PS4 just because of the anticipation of Final Fantasy VII. And then it got delayed for 4 more years.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And yeah, I've been in pain waiting. My PlayStation has literally been collecting dust for years. It did get some play because Street Fighter ended up getting an exclusive contract with Sony, mainly because Sony bailed out Capcom. So I have used my PlayStation 4 sparingly, but I'm finally dusting it off. I did dust it off just for this demo, and I have to say that the wait has been warranted because the game is absolutely phenomenal. Just the demo. I would already give this game the game of the year based off just the demo. Everything about the game is absolutely wonderful, in my opinion. Voice acting all around is great. The action, story, everything to me is absolutely amazing. I was very, very scared of the battle system because I was kind of looking for that classic turn-based kind of battle system that I grew up with. And when they said that it was going to be a free-flowing battle system, akin to more recent Final Fantasies, I wasn't too thrilled because they have not done it well.
Yeah, I like the kind of, it was almost like a rock, paper, scissors, chess aspect to like the turn-based
right
stuff.
Before, yeah.
You still had to be fast
something like that.
the meters were filling up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But
the time meters would fill up and you had to be
cool
strategic about it, and that's what I liked about it. It was kind of like a 3D action-based chess game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had to know how to like defeat the opponents and stuff like that, and you still have that element here. But with this faster action pace, it keeps the story going. It keeps the intensity high, especially with the musical score that's been upgraded and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. And I really like some of the interactions with the characters. It seems a lot better now that there's actual voice acting. Some of the characters, especially some of those early characters, really quickly get you have some actual kind of character development. Whereas before, you're just kind of like reading the text and imagining the voice that you would kind of attach to them and imagining how their personalities would be and stuff like that based on like the little that you could read and interpret. But now that we have actual voice acting and we have mocap and all that stuff, we have real personalities to these characters that, I grew up with.
They were caricatures more so in the
original. Yeah, there were caricatures. There wasn't much that they can do.
It was like Jive talking the whole damn time in the original.
Yeah. He still kind of does it now.
Yeah, he does. I mean, that's the thing. They do stay true to like the older personalities of the characters, even though some of them might be some serious stereotypes. Yeah. That may be a little dated for sure.
It's also a Japanese cultural thing too, the way that they see certain cultures.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the way that I look at it, it's more like this is what was cool in the 90s, and they didn't want to really change that. Like Barrett is still exactly like Barrett from the 90s, very much so, which I appreciate. I know that like there are some certain stereotypes that are very real there, but those stereotypes were in the game in the 90s, and I don't see that's one thing that I feared, that they would change the personality of the characters just to try to modernize and make it like a today game. I don't want it to be a game about today. I want to relive what I fell in love with in the 90s, but with the modern twist, with the voice acting, with the animation, and all that. And I will say that like so far, at least the demo, it stays, not only does it stay like super true to the original game, as well as just like leveling up the experience of the game, and enhancing it. It's just it really does kind of invoke everything that I loved about the game. So the reason I say that I would give it already Game of the Year is because if the rest of the game is as polished as this demo is, I already know that I love I love the story 100%. I already know that I loved everything that was cool about it. Between Cloud's character, him being like a one of the classic anti-heroes that ends up, well, without spoiling anything, he's the classic anti-hero that you end up controlling and, kind of almost like a Wolverine kind of person that doesn't want to.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take up the mantle.
He doesn't want. He's doing this for the money. He's just there for a gig. He's not fighting for a cause. And all that. So I already know that I'm going to absolutely love the game.
What was the name of the group? Weapon? Was that the name of the group?
He was part of Soldier.
Soldier. That's right. What it was. Yeah.
He was part of Soldier. And the team that he joins up with as a for hire is Avalanche. And you know what? The other thing too is because there's voice acting now. One of the things that I loved is actually being able to see the relationship building so early on between Cloud and Barrett. You know. So yeah, that's what I'm geeking out over. I'm probably gonna play the demo a few more times. It's an hour-long demo. But it's so well done that it goes by so quick. I didn't even realize I was playing for an hour. I was so sad when I finished the demo and all of a sudden the cutscene started playing. I was like, wait, this cannot be it. This can't be the rest of the demo. I need to play it again.
Oh man,
it's that freaking good.
That's giving me a
and a
little
couple
bit
of you guys
nostalgia.
played it, so I would like to ask your opinions on the demo. I know it's my geek out, but I'd like to know what you guys think of it.
Eli played just a portion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you think about
He's
it?
probably disappointed.
Yeah.
God.
You are disappointed? Why?
Are you disappointed just to
But
say you're disappointed?
I think the reason why I was disappointed was because I don't really know much about the Final Fantasy game series.
But you don't need to know about it to
just go and play it.
see if you enjoy it or not.
Okay,
right?
so then it was disappointing.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
You are a tough crowd, man. You are a very tough crowd. Final Fantasy VII is considered one of the greatest games of all time.
All time.
And
all time.
And this that's like a faithful and awesome update is disappointing.
The fighting controls were like Jump Force. They were
Jump Force?
doo doo.
What?
Yeah, it is like Jump Force.
Are you sure you wanted to ask for his
it's
opinion?
more like God
I
of,
would lie. I was already expecting this, but doo-doo? Are you kidding me? It's super
Jump Force.
fluid.
it's more like God of War a little bit, right?
No, it's like
In
Jump
a
Force.
sense.
Okay.
I remember this is the guy who won't stop playing
Yeah.
Fortnite, so everything is doo-doo compared to
play Fortnite.
Fortnite. That's what you say every time, and then
you know
when a season pass
been-
comes
So
out,
you know
or
what?
something.
Let me explain
I've
to
been
you
able to play it
No,
for, like-
he hasn't played Fortnite in a while.
I haven't
just
played
because
anything.
Okay, that's
he hasn't
fine.
been able
That's
to
fine.
play anything.
And I wouldn't go back to Fortnite anyway. I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Warzone.
Warzone,
Woo!
the Battle Royale, Call of Duty.
It's just another shooting game.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
So
another
just another shooting game.
Fortnite or
No, it's not just any shooter game.
It
It's
looks
Call
interesting.
of
Call of
Duty.
Duty
But
shooting
Call of Duty
game, I know.
sucks. Call of Duty sucks.
Yeah, it's
Call
not
of Duty
that
sucks.
good.
If you
it's not
if you
that
could
good.
see the way his
He's up.
expression
He's
changed,
standing
Call
up.
of Duty really sucks. Like it really does. It's so boring now.
Hold
It
him
is
back.
boring.
Hold him back.
But anyway, that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about.
Anyway, just
Final
before,
Fantasy
so,
VII.
So, Walt, since what was your opinion of it?
So I
since
did
you
play-
played Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I did play the entire demo, and I have to echo your sentiment because it's like you said, it's an hour-long demo. I felt like I was playing it for like 15 minutes. By the time that it finished, I'm like, this is it? There's got to be more to this. I got to keep playing this. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was really cool. The action is very, very fluid. You
Yes,
know,
exactly.
And the targeting system is really unique because you can switch off very, very easy,
Right.
as opposed to some other games where you're struggling to try and target the guy. This one is just you're flipping the thing over, and that last boss
That last boss
for
was
a
amazing.
demo.
So just so that you guys
My
understand,
gosh.
for those of you guys that played Final Fantasy
Was
VII,
that
you're
the-
playing the very first the initial mission.
That's
all
that
the way
robot,
to the,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
scorpion,
big
the
robot.
scorpion robot.
Yeah.
So
Actually-
you're playing up to the very first
minute.
mini boss.
Wait a minute. What? There was a Final Fantasy VII demo that came out years ago. I think that's where the original demo ended too. Because I remember playing back.
Probably.
Remember how when Game
Probably.
Informer used to come with a
Yeah,
demos?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I played Final
Probably.
Fantasy VII.
Oh,
and
that's
it ended
funny. Actually,
exactly
that would be
there.
amazing if that's like the exact way that it was dropped.
I'm pretty sure it did. I can't say for sure, but that's what I
Yeah,
remember. That's still pretty
probably.
cool if that's the case.
Yeah, so it's like the first. It's like the first mission, and they're meeting up for the first time, and they go and they have to get to this. I forgot that tower.
They got to get to the Mako reactor.
Right, exactly, and then that scorpion thing comes out at the
Yeah.
very end, and you're given a choice on how to set the timer because you got to set a timer for the bomb to
Right.
blow the core out. Right.
Right. So after you defeat the scorpion, you also have to it's afterwards, right?
Yeah,
Or is
you
it
have.
before.
No, you have to beat.
Wait, do you set the timer and then you got to fight the boss?
I can't remember.
No.
Now
It's you fight the
confusing.
boss and then you set the timer and then you got
to get out of there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Are you sure?
Yeah. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys set the timer, there's two options for the timer. If you set the timer where you end up having more pressure on yourself to get out, you have a little bit extra reward at the end of the demo.
Little cutscene.
Little extra cutscene for those.
Bring somebody back.
Fans of
exactly.
Yeah, the one winged angel. What? Oh god, he's literally my favorite villain of all video games of all time. Sephiroth. Oh god. It's so good.
Release date on that?
April 10th.
Sephiroth. April 10th. Yeah. I was just about to say April 10th. I was looking it up to be sure.
I'm planning
Part
on,
1 because this is episodic.
I'm planning on canceling. Well, I guess.
That's true.
You know what? Like, God, hopefully not. But if the coronavirus outbreak is going on, and I still have to close my gym down during that time, I would be gladly playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. But let me knock on some wood.
How do you feel about them releasing it episodically?
I actually really enjoy that.
I don't think that's that bad. Yeah, I agree.
You want to know why? Because the thing is, like, when it comes to in this era of multiplayer games and stuff like that, with a lot of DLC and all that, single player only games that have really nice, strong stories kind of get lost in the amount of information that comes out with all the other games, right? Like if
multiplayer's a dime a dozen these days.
Yeah, I can imagine like
which
if
I like what they're
out,
doing with the PS5, by the way.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that after.
Cool. So for example, the way that I envision if Final Fantasy VII came out all at one time as one full game, I can see people download it, play it a little bit, but then when the new DLC for Call of Duty comes out or Fortnite comes out, they'll drop it to play, and then they may not go back to the game. You know, if single player games can release it as episodes, it will prolong the conversation of the game itself. It'll let people digest it a little bit easier, and also have something to look forward to, because this game is a very meaty game, and I'd rather them not cut any corners, make sure that each episode is perfect, and let me digest it properly, where I can even play like the entire episode, and then right before the next episode comes out, play the episode again.
Okay,
and I'd totally be into that.
That's where I was kind of going with this, and especially now in your situation where the gym is closed, right?
Right.
You get to play the first episode. I'm pretty sure you're going to play it instantly, and then you're done.
Right, but I mean, I don't
wait
until
the next episode. You know what I mean?
The only thing that I can kind of be worried about really is if the episode is too short. Like if it's a Mandalorian episode where it's like 28 minutes long, then I gotta wait. That would suck. I don't think that the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, the first episode ends. Well, I don't want to really spoil it the first episode ends at a very late stage. You know, it's when they leave Midgar.
So
that's pretty late. That's
essentially
the first disc.
Yeah, the first disc.
Right. And by the way, so the game when it was released, it was 3 discs.
A huge plot point.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, so it was a huge plot point.
One of the most amazing ones in like all of gaming.
Oh god, that game is
at the time
good.
especially.
I cannot wait.
At the time, especially, like I got real emotional at that. But like I was gonna say, the episodic thing is cool too, because you know, for us who are nostalgic about it in a certain sense, I remember how I felt when I finished the first disc.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you had to like put in the second, because obviously you have the like craziness in the plot.
Like, oh my god!
Yeah, like you have so much going on in the plot. You have them leaving you have all this stuff going on, and like you almost like had to wait for a second and gather yourself. I remember I had to gather myself.
Yeah, I
a little
did the
bit
same thing too. When that screen came on, like please insert this too. I was like.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
What? Just take a breath on that, you know. Yeah.
And you're gonna get that same feeling from this. Well, it's gonna build though.
I think that's good,
which is interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
This is almost,
man.
Yeah, I think it's almost taking advantage of how like binge watching is kind of becoming less of the medium, the way that things are released.
Yeah, people want episodes back.
Yeah, people want to like
because
anticipate.
They want that water cooler moment where you can go and talk
people
about it.
People want to let it breathe. You know, so.
And there's not that impetus where you have to go watch every single episode because you know if you go to work on Monday, everybody's gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, it's I'm definitely like super looking forward to that. And part of this geek out, secondary little geek out, it's more of a shout out. Big shout out to Megaran, one of my favorite rappers out there. Who he does. he does rap dubs over video game music, old school video game music, and one album that I absolutely love is Black Materia, where he basically he goes through the entire story of the game. So if you're planning on playing the game for the first time, don't listen to the album because you will get spoiled. But he goes through every single the entire soundtrack of the actual game, re-engineers it into rap beats, and then raps the entire story of the game through the album. Absolutely amazing, including that track "One Wing Angel." Absolutely phenomenal song. So check him out, Mega Ran on Spotify. You'll absolutely love his Mega Ran 8, 9, and 10, which are the Mega Man album redubs for Mega Man 8, 9, and 10.
Mega Ran.
Yep.
Already looking this up.
The artist, his actual artist name is Random, and what's cool about him is that he was a Philly music and hip hop professor, high school teacher, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he started the project, if I'm not mistaken, he started the project to show that good rap and good music is just being a really good storyteller under really good beats. And he showed him that he can turn anything into a good rap album by taking good stories from, let's say, a video game that has a good story and turning it into a rap album. That's what he did, and he became major rap artist from there.
Apparently, he made something but with the Mandalorian.
What? Randalorian? The Randalorian? I gotta check that out right now. Dude, that sounds sick. I can't believe that. I gotta see. My mind is so blown. Anyway, that's what I'm geeking out of. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Mega Ran, and now the new drop, the Randalorian.
Like, what? I guess, yeah, this has to be somewhat recent. All right. That sounds really interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to Final Fantasy VII.
I would totally pause this recording just to listen to that right now.
I think, as a last note from what I've seen recently, Final Fantasy VII is going to be released in 3 parts once a year, although who knows if that schedule will continue the way that they did their schedule on the game thus far. So
yeah, hopefully you're not waiting 4 years for the second episode.
I hope not.
You know.
That's what it feels like to be a Half-Life fan. So,
well, listen, you'll get the episode like on the PlayStation 7,
probably.
You know?
All right.
Speaking of which, so I'm gonna touch base. I'm gonna circle back to something that he said before, the PlayStation 5, right? The thing that they are going to be using
the feature, right? Okay.
Right, the feature
that you mentioned,
quote unquote.
I don't features. Know what you mean. Yeah.
So, according to the worldwide studio boss of PlayStation, the way that they're going to beat the Xbox Series X, which is the next iteration of the Xbox, is that the PlayStation 5 is going to trend a little bit away from multiplayer games, and they're going to focus on strong, narrative-driven, single-player games.
Okay.
So
not a feature, more focus.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that's been sorely missing lately because, you know, you look at some of the games, most of them are multiplayer. Most of them are online. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that experience of going and playing a game that's a story. A lot of it is all shooters nowadays. You know
Which, that's great and all, but, like, it's true. Like, I do enjoy multiplayer games. I enjoy games like Battlefield and stuff like that, as you all know. But, like, it does get boring after a while.
It gets super boring. That's why Call of Duty is boring, because it's not that different from the last Call of Duty. It's updated graphics, different maps, but it's still just straight up team deathmatch. And the thing is, I play Call of Duty right now, and the only thing I really play is gunfight because I'm like, it's interesting. That's it. Like,
it's a different mode. Exactly.
I'm tired of playing. Like, I'm not interested at all in playing like deathmatch, domination, none of that stuff. It's like I'm bored of it.
I hate team death. I never played team deathmatch in Battlefield. Any game that only has team deathmatch, I don't play it because I'm not interested in it.
Yeah,
I love narrative
experience.
Everything
is all about battle royals and stuff like that.
You know,
and I don't have time to play a 30-minute game where I suck and I end up like not even seeing anybody and then I get killed.
You're like just unhappy the whole time. So what the hell's the point? There's no like real emotional like fun like what you get from a story. And like even like when we talk about multiplayer games that we played, like even some of the ones that we played, like we played them with each other. like we would play Gears of War online or Halo or something like
there's
that.
something, the
So-
local co-op, the couch,
or even
Yeah.
like like, and you can do this obviously with any game, but like something about playing with somebody that you know is like just so much better. And most of these multiplayer experiences now are just tailored towards like, I'm just gonna run around and shoot like random people that I've never met and I will never meet in my life.
There's no strategy. There's no
is,
teamwork.
The thing is that it's all geared towards more of like self-ranking up,
Yeah.
versus like team play. Like nobody really takes the time to like set up like team play because that slows down their rank up.
Kill death ratios.
You know?
Just kill death
And that's
ratios.
what we
Yeah,
used to
that's
do
it.
when we
That's it.
played Ghost Recon, right?
Yeah, we were all about the teamwork, and that was
Yep.
what's so fun about it. We would communicate, and I'm not saying that nobody does that, but most of the time, if you turn on your microphone and you decide to try to actually talk to your team, they're just going to curse at you or like.
The other thing too is like I'm not saying that like that the game isn't fun. It is fun. It's just it's repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, yeah, I'll be excited to play team deathmatch and stuff like that. But like again, if I'm jumping on it like the latest Call of Duty every single year, I'm kind of bored of it if it doesn't change anything other than skins.
Yeah,
the gun
perfect.
at this point, every single gun that has ever been made has already been put in a video game. So I'm not excited about any new weapons.
Well, perfect example for me is Star Wars Battlefront. Battlefront 2. That's a game that I should love and I should be playing all the time, but
Right.
I just don't. Like I played it has the story mode,
which is
Yeah.
okay.
which is canon.
Yeah. Oh, it's
You know,
canon.
It is canon.
Okay, that's
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah,
It is.
But once you play it, you're done, and then
That's not saying much because Tross is canon. So
That's true because that also.
I'm sorry.
Didn't they say that's where he found? Yeah, that's where Luke finds the Wayfinder that he has in the Last Jedi, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Because I remember playing it, and I remember it being mentioned, and I remember it happening in the game. Being like, oh, that's that compass or Wayfinder thing. That he
Infernal
has.
Yeah.
Squad plays a role, and
Uh-huh.
they're on the moon of Endor when the second Death Star blows up and stuff. Kylo Ren makes an appearance and stuff, so there are interesting points to it, and that's where I had the most fun playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into like the matches, and at the very beginning, the allure of being on Hoth, right, and being
Right.
in that huge battle is really cool, but it wears off quickly.
I liked it in Battlefront more.
Here's the question though, and this is so perfect for the topic of the current conversation. I know this is your geek out, but since we're talking about this multiplayer versus single player, what was better, Battlefront or Fallen Order?
Fallen Order.
Hands down, because a
Fallen
good
Order.
story that's
Absolutely.
engaging is always going to be better than just standard fare.
You're just
Unless you just wanna rank
with
up.
Battlefront 2, you're really just running around. There's really no method to the madness. Nobody's giving orders. You're one man for yourself. There's no teamwork involved in it. You know what I'm saying? So
Anyway,
To be
continue
fair,
with
though,
your.
fair,
sorry.
apparently the experience has improved a lot over the last couple of months with certain DLC.
it
that they
has.
released,
It
but
has.
whatever.
I mean, you could do the Death Star run now and stuff, and it comes in waves and stuff, and you start out in one place, and then you transition to another, and then you actually get to do the trench run, and if somebody blows it up, then the game mode is over.
Like,
But it's never
you
going to
won.
be a geek out.
Right? Exactly. It's not.
It's like, hey, that was a fun experience.
What my real geek out is.
Yes, talk about it. Let's
I
tell
have,
us about it.
I have two. So I'm geeking out over the second season of Altered Carbon.
Mm-hmm.
I am behind in it because this thing came out February 27th. It's been almost a month. I've done 5 episodes so far. There are a total in season 2 of 8, so I'm almost there. You know what I'm saying? Altered Carbon is interesting in the fact that. Hold on.
No, continue with
No. I got to see this. Wait a second. Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. It's related.
It's that
Inside joke.
inside joke.
But
we
not
gotta let
really, because it's
the fans
everywhere.
are on the inside if they're listening. So the inside joke is that I'm browsing through our feed on Instagram, and apparently there's a pop for a Corona exclusive toilet paper roll. So, anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Horrible. People are horrible,
come
man.
on.
You know what I'm saying? And let me ask you a question. I got to transition because I've been asking everybody about this, and I don't understand. I need somebody to help me understand. Coronavirus is a very serious thing that this country is going through. It's a global pandemic. There's a lot of people that are, losing their lives to this thing, and so it's a very serious thing. why are we trying to buy all the toilet papers in the world?
I mean, it's reasonable. It's reasonable because
what,
people
you're gonna wipe away the virus?
No,
I
people
understand.
people are
expect to be
preparing.
indoors.
People are preparing to not leave their apartment and stuff. They're just gonna order Chinese food every single day, and just stay indoors
And wash their dirty butts.
Yeah,
I have the perfect response.
What is
Yes.
Please
the perfect
explain this to me.
response?
And the Lord saith to Dean,
Oh,
hoard
supernatural.
toilet paper. You understand me? Hoard it. Hoard it like it's made of gold. Because it is.
For all you supernatural fans out there,
Right now it is.
Okay, I guess that makes total sense.
It doesn't really.
All right, now literally
Anyway,
back to your geek out.
yes. So, Altered Carbon is in its second season. It came out the first season. I really liked it. Had Joel Kinnaman in the title role. You know, he played. So the basis of the show is, basically people are kind of immortal. Okay, they have what's called. It's called a stack. So basically, your entire consciousness is on a computer disk that you put into the back of your neck. Okay.
Okay.
And you are able to prolong your life, especially the rich people, because they are able to clone themselves into what's called sleeves. And so when either you die in this particular sleeve, you can take the stack out, put it into another one, and you just continue going, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The only way you truly die is if somebody shoots your stack and destroys it. Then, unless you have a backup, you're dead.
Okay.
Right? That they call that the real death. So aside from the real death, another way that you can not be around is they'll take your stack and they'll throw it in what they call like the ocean or something like that, where your consciousness is there, but you're not put into any sleeve. You're just kind of hanging around, right?
A floating soul.
Right. So the premise of the first season is that there's a character. His name is Takashi Kovacs, right? And he was an elite soldier back in the days during an uprising, and he's what's considered the last envoy. And again, the envoys being that elite set of soldiers. He gets woken up 250 years into the future. And in that case, the reason that he was woken up is because one of the rich people who are called meths, right? He hired him, quote unquote, because he needed somebody to investigate his death.
Okay.
Because he eventually gets shot and killed and stuff like that. So that's kind of the backdrop and stuff. Joel Kinnaman plays a very distinct type of Takashi Kovacs. He's very stoic. He's very no business and stuff like that. Now, the beauty of having that type of premise is that you can continuously change actors.
Yeah.
Kind of like Doctor Who. Doctor Who has the regeneration.
What is it, Anthony Mackie? Anthony Mackie
Anthony Mackie
this season?
is the second season Takashi Kovacs.
Mm-hmm.
And so he plays a very different role. His is more very emotional. He's not as stoic. He's not as focused as Joel Kinnaman's character or portrayal of it. And this tells a different story where his, I guess you want to call, love interest from back in the days, back 300 years in the future, she's kind of gone crazy. And so there's an uprising of what's called Kellis, and they're kind of like going against the regime of the rich people holding on to this and stuff like that. Okay. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not as good as the first season.
Did you finish it, or did you?
I haven't finished it yet. I'm getting to episode 6, so I have 3 more episodes to go.
So far not quite.
So far
the same.
it's still engaging, and it's definitely worth me finishing the season. But I feel like the first one, it just seemed like a little bit. The story was told a little bit better. This one is kind of like, he's searching for her. She may be crazy. She may not be her. Maybe it's and the thing about it is that if you put too many stacks in too many different sleeves, your consciousness starts to degrade, which was one of the things that happened in the first season. There's an AI that helps Takashi, and he's excellent. He plays like an English butler, and he basically has a hotel that he creates digitally, and he treats him completely horrible, and the dynamic between the two is interesting. So, not as good as the first season, but hey, I still have 3 episodes to go. Maybe it gets better. I don't know. But that's on Netflix if you want to watch it. And again, it's called Altered Carbon. And Anthony Mackie, who is the Falcon in the MCU, he's the star of the show. If you want to go watch
Great
it.
actor.
He is.
He's been in a lot of great movies even before the MCU as well.
And like I said, it's not me saying that he's not doing the role well. It's just a different role from what we saw in the first season.
Which is what makes it interesting, I
Yeah,
feel
so
like,
it's a
right?
different dynamic and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm liking it yet or not.
Okay.
Do you think this is going to be kind of like a True Detective thing where every season is going to be a
Probably.
new sleeve? Because I can't see Anthony Mackie sticking with the show.
Yeah, he's got other stuff
got
to
like
do.
a main thing going on.
He's got
but it'd
the
be
Falcon
cool.
and Winter Soldier
It'd be
going
cool
on.
to kind of like have that angle of like this new sleeve is this new,
exactly.
like, well-known actor.
That's what sounds like really interesting to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have.
I didn't
you
know the
have,
premise. I just know he was in season 2.
Yeah, you
That's
have a chance. Like I said, it's very much following the Doctor Who role, where you have a Doctor Who, and after a while, he regenerates, and then another actor takes over the role and has it for a little bit and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely could be one of these things where you're constantly putting different actors into the same role and stuff like that.
All right.
Awesome. Seems like it's going to go to my quarantine list.
There you go.
I have to start writing all this stuff down for real. I think I need to make a spreadsheet of things to watch because there's so many things that I want to watch. I need to keep track of what episode. All this nonsense needs to be done. I think
There's a
pretty
lot
soon.
of stuff to
Especially
watch.
they keep up with everything we have to watch to talk about here.
Outsiders.
Besides just our specific interest, branching out into what everybody else likes. I'm gonna have to start writing this stuff
There's
down.
two
Seriously.
things that once I'm finished with Altered Carbon, I want to get into. That's Castlevania, and that is Castlevania just came out with the new season 3, right?
Yeah.
So season 3 is awesome. I will say this: I've seen the first episode, and it's exciting to see it back. And the other thing is Kingdom, which I mentioned to you before. That's back
season
for
2
season
also,
2.
right? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You told me about that a couple of weeks ago, I remember.
And that came out on March 14th, I believe, or something like that. I don't know.
Today?
The other thing that I'm geeking out over, I got a chance to play around with the Oculus Quest. The Oculus Quest is a VR headset. And one of the things that I tried was Vader Immortal. So now I didn't get a chance to play the story mode, but there is a thing called the Lightsaber Dojo.
Really?
Okay.
Yes. And
That
so
sounds
what that is, it's kind of like a horde mode almost, right? Where you have different levels, and as you progress, it obviously infinitely gets harder. So at first you start out with those training balls that
droids.
you see Luke using
Yeah.
A New Hope, right? Eventually you graduate to stormtroopers. Eventually you graduate to some alien things that happen to fly around and stuff like that shoot I don't even know what that is, lasers and stuff like that.
No, they shoot like
vomit.
an acid.
Yeah, something like that.
Damn biologicals.
You have 360 degree of movement. You can use lightsabers, you can use blasters, you can use the force to kind of like force push them, force pull them. You have the ability to use different lightsabers that the characters use. Like for example, you can use the Emperor's lightsaber, Ahsoka Tano's lightsabers, the dual ones. You can use 2 lightsabers. They have Asajj Ventress, right?
I didn't see that, but I know Darth Maul's broken sabers were there.
And they have the one from Phantom Menace, the
Yep.
double-bladed lightsaber. So there's a lot of different things you could do. The lightsaber action is awesome. I mean, I literally want to go buy one, but unfortunately, because of the coronavirus again, which is interrupting everything that's going on nowadays.
Everything.
Not only,
Except this podcast.
except for this podcast, exactly. But
We're quarantining ourselves.
it's the production of the Oculus Quest is delayed now. I read somewhere that they were back in stock, but now when I went to go purchase it, guess what? It's out of stock again. So
You're gonna have to order it or something. You're gonna have to get it shipped or something at this point. Otherwise, how the heck are you gonna get it?
But there's nothing available. The production it's limited because of the fact that the coronavirus is shutting down.
I mean, when production eventually gets back into stock, I would just order the damn thing at this point because you're gonna go to the store and it's gonna be gone again.
But no. But the problem is you can't because that's literally what I did. You can't order from the website. You have to order it through a third party retailer, and it tells you where to buy. You go to those places and it tells you it's out of stock.
So you can't even pay for it online.
You can't even pre-order the damn thing.
Doesn't make
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wait, it's the Quest?
It's the Oculus Quest. There's two of them. There's one called the Oculus Rift, and that's one that you're tethered to a PC.
Yeah, you need a
and
PC
You need
for
a
that.
high-end PC for that to work. The Oculus Quest is a wireless device where they have the computer chip built into the visor.
There are some places that you can buy it, but at a more premium, about
it's like
$550.
Yeah,
Amazon.
and I don't necessarily trust some of those places and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The base
Walmart
model
has it for $536.10 arrives
Yeah.
by Thursday, March 9th. It's probably the same thing you were looking at a minute ago.
The base model I think is $399 for the 64 gig model.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Almost $550.
They have the 128 gig, which is like $499. So it has its own.
This is of today.
That's right, but I just went to go
5:08 p.m.
check. I just went to go check.
Can
Earlier
we,
today.
can
Yeah.
we borrow the Quest so that we can try it?
Yeah, I can ask. Definitely.
Yeah,
You
I
know
want
what
to check
I'm
it out.
Maybe we could do it all
The
here
thing is
one day and
amazing.
talk about our
The thing
impressions.
is amazing.
Definitely
And-
down to check it out. We can make it like a geek out.
and it's funny because
Agreed.
it gives you that sense of depth. Mm-hmm. Like we try. There's also a thing on there where it's like a roller coaster, and oh my gosh, you feel the pit of your stomach just drop when.
That's amazing.
I can
know
see
what I'm
that. I've had experiences like that with other VR headsets.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting thing. If I ever get a chance to buy the damn thing, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe
We'll give you guys a full review.
Exactly. But I would definitely recommend it. We tried out the Void in New York City, which is a VR experience, and we did the Marvel one, right? And it's not the same thing because over there you're actually walking.
Yeah, you have
facility.
an entire
Right.
the entire facility is your VR.
Exactly. This
experience.
one you can actually set like a geofence,
Yeah.
to make sure that you don't fall over things and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Which I've done before also.
Right. But the experience is comparable, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because like you literally can turn around in every direction, you can move forward and stuff like that, and with the geofence set up, you'll see like the red barrier where it says, okay, you've gone a little too far, you're in danger of crashing into the TV or whatever.
I did the nun in that.
Huh?
I did the nun in that.
Oh yeah, there was a demo for the movie The Nun, and it's not really a game, but it's more like
Interactive movie?
well, it's like a little 5-minute experience where they're kind of
Yeah.
showing off. You're in the annals of a church.
I think that's going to be the next big experience as movie releases where you're in there almost like you're maybe a viewer inside of a room. For example, an interrogation room where you can't obviously interact, but you can look around to the
exactly.
actors.
They've
and
tried
stuff,
that already. Reese Witherspoon made a movie like that a couple of years ago. Reese Witherspoon was a movie where she was like in the wilderness or something like that.
You
and
also have that
you
movie.
could put on a VR headset and
Yeah.
see different things like outside. She might look at something and then you can look at it in turn and experience it with her.
They do have like a YouTube section where it's just VR, and one of the things that I did see was that they had like an animation, and it was a story, but you could literally look around. You're an active participant in the story. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you're eavesdropping on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, it's kind of like that. There's a movie which you said you didn't want to see, Hardcore Harry.
Yeah, it's just I feel
That,
like that's
that
that may be a little bit too much to watch on VR because that's very frenetic and stuff. You know,
Harry or Henry?
It's Henry.
Henry. Yeah, exactly. You know, but like you said, there's a lot of value in this. If they ever, the PlayStation right now, I think is the more popular one, just because everybody has a PlayStation. But you're limited because that's more of a sit-down experience, and you're tethered by a wire. Until they crack that nut on the PlayStation, and the PlayStation has better games,
Right. I mean,
But-
it's a game console.
right? Exactly. But you know, the Oculus still has stuff like Resident Evil, Skyrim. Obviously, their big selling point is Vader Immortal because that is exclusive to that platform. You know what I'm saying? They have Beat Saber and stuff like that. But if PlayStation ever found a way to untether that thing, then
Which they will.
that's when you'll really see this thing.
Everyone
take
will
off.
eventually.
Yeah.
Everyone will eventually. So,
So-
we'll see how that progresses.
Yeah, so that's what I was messing around with this week.
All right. Well, everybody had some interesting geek outs once again
Yeah, very disparate this week.
this week. There's a lot of different things that we got to experience this week as a result of the craziness of the world, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean, my geek out is something that didn't even come out yet. But
Oh, can I
that
say
said-
one more thing?
Yes.
There's one thing that I'm geeking out over, and I haven't seen anything except a short little trailer, and that is the PlayStation 4 release of Ghost of Tsushima. I cannot wait for that game to come out. It's a samurai game, which is right in my wheelhouse. I love those style of games, and that's my Final Fantasy VII because I bought the PlayStation 4 just for that game, and that's due out in June, I believe, June 10th.
Hopefully.
Again, assuming that nothing's delayed, because right now everything in the world is being delayed by the coronavirus. We're talking about film productions,
Everything's up
movie
in the air.
productions,
Oh, yeah.
and things of that nature. So, but I'm hoping yours is April, mine is June. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean,
Mine
I
is
think,
May.
well,
Last
you know,
of Us too,
one
sort
of
of.
the things, just so you guys know, games are one of the few industries that are recession proof. So if we're in kind of an economy where people are just trying to hoard and stuff like that, this is what they would want to be doing, staying home and playing video games.
it's like a sin stock, basically.
The
So
problem
anyway,
is
always buy it.
getting the things out. and
Yeah.
getting the developers to actually get into the place and work
Well,
on it.
nowadays they can do
Yeah.
everything from home, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone out there in internet land for once again joining us for a Get Geek Geek Out episode. As always, we would appreciate if you guys would like, share, subscribe, rate, give us some reviews. Check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook, check out our Twitter, check out our webpage. Comment, tell us what you liked, give us a little bit more feedback. We want to, as before, we want to thank you all again for just your increasing engagement over the last couple of weeks. We're really, really thankful for all of our new fans and all of our new listeners. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for all of the support you've shown. And on another episode of the Get Geek podcast, as always, my friends out there in internet land, please stay geeky.
Peace out.